I say, not run. Don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation.
An all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great.
Alexander Usyk replied to Floyd Mayweather's remarks by stating that boxing is a sport of gentlemen, not a street brawl. He stressed that real fighters don't rely on running or loud words. They prove their worth inside the ring.
Boxing is a sport of the gentleman. It's not a street fight. It's a boxing. It's a boxing. It's a boxing. Say it again. Do you think he was the whole fight? I don't have a idea. I have no idea. Maybe.
At the same time, analysts point out the stark contrast between Alexander Usyk and Floyd Mayweather, observing that Usyk conducts himself with humility and grace. They admire how Usyk stays modest despite his success, unlike Mayweather, who still sees himself as above everyone else in boxing. Usyk's respectful approach and grounded nature show that greatness doesn't need ego or boastfulness.
I know a lot of people are kind of probably going to hear me say that and say, you're going too far, you're this, that. Because I've seen that straight away. As soon as Usyk did that, he's a two-time undisputed heavyweight, one-time cruiserweight, two-time undisputed winner. His resume, yes, look, at heavyweight, a lot of rematches, just the way he's doing it. And he's not just, okay, he could have 10 world, Deontay Wilder has 10 world title defenses. Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury are the only ones you really have any kind of weight to them. Usyk is taking on the perceived either number one or number two defenses. Fury perceived number one, AJ at the time, Wow, number two. He's taking, like, who's the next in line and find him.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
And he's doing it in a way which is so beautiful to watch.
Derek Chisora has praised Alexander Usyk's remarkable mindset and boxing skills. He described Usyk as a mentally strong, disciplined athlete who brings relentless focus to the sport. Chisora even joked that beating Usyk would require someone to be crazy, highlighting how difficult and frustrating he is to fight. He applauded Usyk's footwork, ring IQ, and composure, calling him a true expert in the ring. Chisora admitted that while Usyk appears friendly outside the ropes, inside, he transforms into a fierce and nearly unstoppable force.
What I'm saying is to beat Alexander Usyk, you have to be mentally stable in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally.
Yeah, because you have to
Let's take the fight first.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple months ago at the coffee with this chat, the guy lives in Ukraine.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then this missile was going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker, but I just go to sleep. I mean, imagine you now, you in your house in Barna and Timbuktu, and this guy. You're gonna be like,
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
yes, exactly. So, and then remember, so you have to come in there looking to go to the other side, because he's looking to go to the other side.
Mate, you do us a favour. Can you stop beating us up?
Derek Chisora likened Alexander Usyk to Muhammad Ali, calling him the Ali of today's era. He praised Usyk's foot movement, sense of timing, and ring intelligence, pointing out how rare it is to see a heavyweight glide so smoothly. Chisora noted that Usyk doesn't depend on sheer power, but defeats rivals with finesse and accuracy. He said Usyk's coolness and self-belief remind him of Ali's flair, combining beauty and smarts in his fights. Watching Usyk, he added, feels like witnessing poetry in motion, bringing a graceful charm back to modern heavyweight boxing like Ali once did.
Everybody gets it wrong. You don't box this guy. It's like, how can I explain it to you in a way you understand? You can't box him.
He's just too good.
He's just unbelievable great. Yeah, you forget good. He's amazing. Yeah, he's great. He's amazing. He's like the white Muhammad Ali. He might not talk like Muhammad Ali, but he is the Muhammad Ali of the last generation. You understand? We have to give him the credit he's due. Yeah, he is that guy.
Famed promoter Eddie Hearn has added his voice to the chorus calling Alexander Usyk more than just a world champion. He's a once once-in-a-generation talent. Hearn, who's managed countless elite fighters, highlighted how rare Usyk's abilities are, labeling him one of the finest technicians seen in recent memory. His flawless move from cruiserweight to heavyweight, without losing speed, rhythm, or composure, has amazed the boxing community. Hearn's praise goes beyond typical compliments. Reflects how Usyk is redefining the standards for today's heavyweight division.
Just you're talking about one of the great generational. I watched the first 2 rounds. Dubois looked really dangerous. Came out, backed him up, and then Usyk just decided I can't allow him to back me up, so I'm going to go on the front foot and box aggressive here. And he knocked him spark out. Unbelievable. Just a true generational great.
Following his most recent dominant showing, Usyk has catapulted into boxing's highest echelon, with analysts now ranking him the 4th greatest fighter of all time, an honor rarely given to active athletes. This recognition isn't just about wins, but about who he's beaten, how he's done it, and how consistently he's performed at the top level. His seamless transitions across weight classes and victories on enemy turf highlight his greatness. Calling him one of the all-time best is an exaggeration. It's a claim supported by facts, performances, and an ever-growing...
What's yours, Sharon? What's yours? Oleksandr is the 4th greatest fighter on my personal all-time. Wow. He's number 4. He's only behind Ali.
Oh, on your all-time list?
All time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Only behind Floyd, Ali, and me. So, I'm really high on Oleksandr.
Alexander Usyk represents more than just championship gold. He embodies technical mastery and strategic brilliance. His composed personality outside the ring stands in stark contrast to his razor-sharp instincts inside it. He doesn't seek fame, avoid fights, or engage in trash talk. Instead, Usyk lets his craft speak for itself.
The WBO, Frank Warner very close, Joseph Parker is obviously a Queensbridge fighter, so there could be potential that they do what they did with this fight, what they did with the Dubois fight. It also means as well that, and maybe this is why, potentially it's because we had season shows from November onwards, and I doubt we'll see Oleksandr Usyk in the ring this year because it's only July, but he's only fought, and I would imagine Usyk is going to be one of these 6 to 8 month type of guys. That's the way he's been over the last 2 years. So you're looking probably February next year at the earliest when he finally fights again. So for me, it's like, right, well, that will be after the Riyadh and Ring Magazine's pay-per-views end, and then they're not going to do pay-per-view anymore. Maybe they look at that fight and think, Usyk Parker, it's a fight that, with the greatest respect, Oleksandr Usyk is a very big name. It maybe does need that pay-per-view wall behind it in order to facilitate the purses that they could potentially be forking out for it. So maybe that's why Riyadh season won't do it. Now, the Zone obviously have not ruled out pay-per-view, they're still going to do pay-per-view.
Alexander Usyk's record speaks for itself. He has dismantled world champions and promising prospects alike, and his recent win over Daniel Dubois only added to his legend. Though Dubois was a powerful, physically dominant threat, Usyk outperformed him with tactical precision. Yet, despite his commanding performances, Usyk never boasts. He doesn't call himself the greatest, even as others start to. His modesty stands out in an era driven by showboating, proving that humility and greatness can go hand in hand.
It was sort of broken off in different directions. Even I wasn't sure because although I believe Usyk is the fighter of the generation in this weight class, he's at an age where, overnight you sort of show up and you don't have it anymore. Ali randomly lost to Leon Spinks around this age or whatnot, So you could get where all of a sudden, it's not there on the night. So, and then, you had...
And heavyweights take 1 second,
yeah,
1 split second off.
Yeah, exactly. And you also had a very motivated Dubois to add to that second, who's a very powerful puncher and has sort of this bully mentality when he gets you in an uncomfortable position. But, Usyk, flawless performance technically, stepping out to that weak side consistently, mixing up the jabs, making things uncomfortable for Dubois rhythm-wise.
He seemed more aggressive, right? Normally, I think with some of the bigger guys, he slides that weak side, slides that weak side. This was different.
I think with Dubois, the psychology is kind of out of the bag, and then you got to kind of bully the bully, and Dubois came out trying to bully him a little bit, so he started touching him and hitting him, and he started taking it to him because he started backing him up, he started putting him in a situation where he starts to doubt himself. Dubois doesn't really come back from that very often. As a matter of fact,
he doesn't bend, he breaks.
In the fight, I thought he's a little bit awkward, Dubois, but
he's one of those awkward strong guys.
Yeah,
he's just like super strong, awkward as hell.
He goes down and he takes the full count, and then he just gets up at 10 and walks across the ring right in front of Usyk, who's celebrating in the middle of the ring, like with his hands up in the air. Just casually walked right by Usyk's celebration as if he can just get counted out to 10.
Foreman Ali, remember he walks right to his car.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, you gotta get up. You waited to 10 and then
He was a beat man.
you waited to 10 and then not only you get up, you don't even have to presence of mind to realize like I'm walking right into the picture where he's celebrating.
But he was a beaten man before the first time.
What truly sets Usyk apart is that the praise surrounding him transcends his era. Fans, boxing historians, and former champions now mention him alongside the sport's eternal legends. He's not just dominating a generation, he's carving a place among the greatest to never lace up gloves. His historic achievements, like becoming undisputed in multiple divisions and defeating elite opponents in their prime, are already being archived as blueprints of greatness. Usyk's impact on boxing history is undeniable.
He tried to jab, he tried to throw that right hand. He landed that right hand a couple of times, by the way. He got Oleksandr Usyk in the corner and he was trying to work. But ultimately, he's in there. An all-time great. Not a generational great, an all-time great. A generational great would almost dictate that Oleksandr Usyk is just a great in the last 10, 15 years. No. Oleksandr Usyk is a great since boxing began. Since boxing began. Understand what we're watching here. We're not watching a generational great. We're watching an all-time great. That's what Daniel Dubois was in there with. There is a discussion in my brain right now as I'm talking to you about where Oleksandr Usyk is when it comes to the best heavyweights of all time. Like in my head right now, I'm thinking, who beats him?
One of the hottest debates in boxing today is whether Usyk has surpassed legends like Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather in pure boxing skill. While Ali remains iconic and Floyd undefeated, critics argue that Mayweather's peak opposition doesn't quite compare. Unlike Floyd, whose legacy includes heavy marketing and defensive mastery, Usyk's rise is rooted in raw skill and fearless competition. His greatness stems not from promoting.
Interesting heavyweight division, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about Usyk's performance, where he ranks in the all-time list. I know, everybody's big into their nostalgia, but remember, Soviets were not turning pro until the 90s, and I think that makes a big difference. That's another thing. Heavyweights are bigger. Lefties are more common now, and also the Soviet era fighters did not start turning pro until the 90s. So the old days, they didn't have to deal with those guys. So a lot of things that also favor Usyk being a GOAT. But of course, man, it's hard to pick against Ali being a GOAT.
Ben Davison, a respected figure in boxing, added his support to those recognizing Usyk's greatness. Davison emphasized that Usyk has conquered both the cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, a rare accomplishment in the sport. Becoming undisputed in both weight classes places him in elite company. It showcases his adaptability, endurance, and unwavering consistency, qualities only a few fighters ever truly master. Davison's praise carries weight, coming not from a casual observer but from a trainer who understands boxing at its most technical and strategic levels.
It makes it obviously another thing for you about.
Really a good time for me to talk about that sort of thing.
Besides just how good is Oleksandr Usyk? We've seen him now come into the heavyweight division, fight Derek Chisora, fight Anthony Joshua twice, fight Tyson Fury twice, and he's the undisputed heavyweight. No, he was until I'm saying the belt went over. What do you make of him as a fighter? Just sum him up, special fighter.
Yeah, he put himself in the mix to be. He put himself in the mix as one of the greatest heavyweights that's ever been. So, undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight, amazing.
Usyk's path to the top has been anything but smooth. He never inflated his record with easy fights or waited for perfect scenarios. From early on, he sought the toughest tests, even if it meant stepping into hostile arenas. Whether battling unbeaten champions or local heroes, Usyk embraced the challenges that others often dodged. This fearless approach has earned him widespread admiration. He firmly believes greatness is forged through hardship, and that belief shapes every decision he's made. In an age when many fighters guard their records, Usyk chose the harder road.
I'm sorry. I can't help it, man. I fucking love this. Honestly, I fucking love this game. I'm sorry if I'm going on like a lunatic, right? But it was unbelievable. And it's funny how this
fight, the controversy in the last fight, which for me was never controversial, it was a low blow, simple as that. And I don't think we've ever seen Oleksandr Usyk ever look for an easy way to win. In fact, I think of all the fighters on planet Earth, he is the one who takes the hardest road to win. There's no tune-up fights for Oleksandr Usyk. It's the biggest fight in a heavier weight than he should even be fighting at, and he makes life harder for himself, not easier. And I think he's proven his character time and time again. But yet he was accused of not being, a real Christian because he was a cheat. He was accused of deserving an Oscar because he was a play actor and robbing Daniel Dubois of what should have rightfully been his, which was a world title. And after the Tyson Fury fight, Daniel Dubois stepped in the ring and called him out, and Oleksandr Usyk immediately turns to Turki Al-Sheikh and says, Mr. Excellency, make the fight. He had no problem in setting this up, and immediately you kind of think he was in the middle of talking about his father. I think at the time it was an emotional moment. That's a time where when you've accomplished what he's done, you deserve respect, and I think he was disrespected there, and I think he took that personally, in the words of Michael Jordan. Now in the first round, Oleksandr Usyk did exactly what he needed to do to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois coming in with a load of confidence, wanting to be the aggressor, wanting to be the dominant bull that he was against Anthony Joshua.
Dave Coldwell, another respected boxing fighter, pointed out that Usyk's work rate and precision are nearly unmatched in today's heavyweight scene. While many heavyweights fight in short, explosive bursts, Usyk maintains a controlled, relentless rhythm, landing clean shots and gradually breaking his opponents down. Coldwell highlighted how Usyk's commitment to body shots and his expert pacing wear opponents out over time. He does go
pace, and you just still can't go with it. It does have an effect. But what I'm trying to say is, Usyk's work to the body, the volume of body punches. I'd like to see the stats on body punches, be it straight, be it a jab, be it backhand, whatever. Because Usyk's volume of body work is what I thought was the difference in the fight. His lead hand activity was probably the best it's been since it's been a heavyweight, maybe. I thought he took away, we were all talking about the Fury right uppercut going into the fight because he had a lot of success. We were all talking about what Tyson